Anthropic has taken its first real big step towards making Claude Code more accessible for non-developers, and they did this by releasing a brand new feature inside of the Claude desktop app. This feature is called Cowork, and basically what it's doing is bringing some of those capabilities of Claude Code, but now into a way more user-friendly interface for individuals who might be, intimidated by the terminal or not want to go through the actual process of installing and dealing with Claude Code. So now there is a way to do that. If you've been following Claude Code for any amount of time, especially over the past few weeks, you might have noticed that a lot of people are talking about how they want a more user-friendly interface for Claude Code. A lot of vibe coders out there started talking about how they were going to try to build these wrappers around Claude Code for people to use that are more simple and more user friendly for non-developers. But that all that conversation is probably going to end very quickly, as Anthropic itself is going to be doing this, right? Now, as I'll get into it, you'll notice that this is still far from being as powerful as Claude Code, but there are some really cool things that we can do here. And if you've ever been, too scared to jump into Claude Code, this might be a good middle ground for you to start working in. So when you download the desktop app now, you're going to see that before we had a couple of different tabs up here in the top left. We had a chat tab and we had a code tab, but now we have a Cowork tab. Important to note that this is only available right now in experimental mode for Claude Max users. So if you're not a Claude Max user, you're not going to see this, but they have announced that it should be coming to pro users over time as well. But for now, just for Max users. So here on the Cowork tab, you can see we have this new interface here, all right? Right off the bat, in the middle, we have our usual chat interface that looks slightly different now, but pretty much the same. And on the right sidebar here, we have now a progress bar, which will show these steps as these tasks unfold. We also have artifacts, which is going to show like if you create any visuals or any HTML or anything like that, you're going to be able to preview it here, presentation, slides, stuff like that. And then we have context, which is actually going to be showing the folders and stuff that you're working in. Which brings me to the point that the whole entire point of this Cowork now is for you to be able to work locally inside of a folder on your system. So that's the big difference here. So if you've used Claude Code before, if you know about Claude Code, basically most of the time you're running this locally inside of folders on your system. So that's what they're trying to recreate here, right? When you come down to the interface here for chatting, you're going to see right away that we have some like suggested prompts. I don't really know. I don't really use these myself, but maybe some people find use out of them. But it gives you some ideas of what we can do here. We could create a file, create a file about topic. We can then go on. We can, do a document file, maybe a research report. So this is really cool, for those who might need help coming up with some ideas of how to use it. It will lead you through all these different, uses for Claude Cowork now. We can also do things like, let's see here, crunch data. You can point it towards a folder with data and crunch data, customer feedback, data set, competitors. There's so many things you can do here now with, folders on your system. We can make a prototype. We can send a message. Maybe we want to do a Slack message, et cetera, but we're not going to be using those today. I'm going to be using my own use cases that are really helpful for people who are using Claude for like writing and content creation, marketing, this type of professional work, all right? Now, the other main thing you need to know if you're completely new is what you're going to do is come down here to the bottom left, and you can now open up folders to work inside of, okay? You can open up folders to work inside of it, and this plus button here allows you to also attach connectors. So these are basically your MCPs. So in Claude Code, you often use MCPs and plugins. Well, here on the desktop version of Cowork, we can just use connectors, which is pretty easy to get set up. But with that said, I've run into many problems with them. They oftentimes do not work or they fail. But nonetheless, we have Claude for Chrome here, and I also have Notion hooked up, okay? So the first use case I want to demonstrate here for Cowork that I found pretty useful is basically creating a landing page for really anything here. And this is actually a really powerful use case. It's pretty crazy. And, you can get a like beautiful, amazing landing page right off the bat. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go, I have a Discord community here for my co-writer system, which has some training programs inside of it, some different modules for basically setting up Claude Code systems, and AI co-writer, right? And in here, I have 5 different modules for different points of building a Claude Code co-writing system. Now, what I did was I took these videos and I extracted the transcripts, and then I opened up a new folder. I created a new folder here called Cowork, and you could see I put the transcripts of each one of my training modules inside of this folder here. So that's it. It's a clean folder with 5 transcripts of my training modules. I'm going to go back here to Claude, and what I want to do now is basically point Claude Cowork to that folder, tell it to look over all of that material and create a beautiful landing page. Let's say I already have one, but let's say I needed a landing page for my my course here, for example, all right? To give Claude access to that folder, all I got to do is come down here into the bottom left. I'm going to choose a different folder here on my desktop. I'm going to go to this Cowork, and I have my training videos here, right? And I'm just going to select that folder. We're going to allow Claude to change the files, meaning giving complete access to that folder. So, definitely make sure you back up anything important because, Claude can delete stuff, can mess with your stuff. So just make sure to always be backing up everything you're working on. We're going to allow it to have access to that. And now Claude literally has access to, this folder. Now, one also additional step that you can do to make this even better, right? We can now just ask it to create a landing page, but that landing page could very well just look like one of those AI vibe coded landing pages. But to fix that, we can use Claude skills, all right? And Cowork is the same as Claude Code, is the same as the desktop, where we can actually install Claude skills for specific, knowledge and expertise. So the skill that I really recommend for, designing your landing pages or front-end design is the, Anthropic's official front-end design skill. Now, to get that, if you don't have it already, you can come over to Anthropic's repository of Claude skills. And to do this, you're going to navigate here. We have github.com/anthropic/skills. I'll drop this below. Now, this is an entire repo here of all their different skills. You can literally, if you click here, you can see all of these official skills from Anthropic. We have things like brand guidelines, canvas design, documents, front-end design, MCP builder, PDFs, stuff like this. We can download all of these. To do that, we're just going to come here to the code, and we are going to download the entire zip file. Now, we're not going to use all of these. Some of them are already, automatically inside of Claude, but you can download this and pick and choose which ones you want to upload. So we're going to take that, we're going to unzip it, and you're going to see we have access to all the Claude skills now, the official ones from Anthropic, that is. And we're going to go back to our Claude Cowork now. And to install this, you're going to need to first go into your settings and put the Claude skill there. To do that, you're just going to come to the bottom left into your settings. You're going to go to settings here. You're going to go to capabilities. And when you scroll down to capabilities, you might already know this, but you have an entire library here of skills. We have skills that they already have, that Claude already has, that you can, for example, just enable here. A lot of these are the same ones in the repository, but some of them are not, like the front-end design one we need. So we're going to come here to your skills, and you're going to add your own. Now, when you add new skills into Cowork, you can create them just by chatting with Claude. You can write the instructions, or you can upload the skill file, which is what we're going to do here. So you're going to click upload. We're going to grab it from the zip that we just downloaded. All right, we're going to come here. We see the downloads. We have all the different skills, and we're going to want the front-end design skill. So we really need this skill to make landing pages and design look really nice and not like AI vibe-coded garbage, all right? So we're going to take the front-end design skill, and all you need is this skill.md file inside of it. We're going to open it right here, all right? And now you can see it's enabled already. We have the front-end design skill. You can read through it here. This creates distinctive production-grade front-end interfaces with high design quality. Use this whenever you want to build web components, pages, artifacts, and stuff like that, which is exactly what we want with this landing page, all right? So we're going to come back to Cowork, start a new task here, make sure we are opened up in our folder of the training videos, all right? So my training videos here, the transcripts, 5 transcripts, allow it to have access. And now we can literally simply tell Claude to, one of the things I like to do first actually is tell Claude to, read the folder and understand what it's working with. So we're going to tell it, Claude, can you look at all of my training videos just so you can understand what we're working with here? And then after you understand all of it, I want you to invoke your front-end design skill to build a landing page for the co-writer system, which is the program with all of these training videos. And tell us something like that. We're going to hit enter. All right. And now you can see what's happening here on the right. We're working in this context here, which is our training videos folder. It's going to start by exploring the training videos. It's running commands to get into the folder. It can see that there are 5 text files of transcripts. All right. It's going to read through all of them. So now I have a comprehensive understanding of the co-writer system. Let me summarize what I've learned about it. This doesn't, matter because this is just everything inside of the text. What we really care about here is what's going to happen now. So it's going to invoke the front-end design skill to create a landing page. So it's going to design a truly distinctive landing page for the co-writer system. Based on the content, all right, it gives a little rundown, and then it's going to run. Now what's happening is you have the context that it's working in here, so we could see everything that it's working in. These are the TXT files, the transcripts, all right, so that's the context we're working in here. We can exit that out. We can also see the progress bar. So now, if you're familiar with Claude Code, it often puts up to-do lists. If not, this is new to you. It's basically a progress bar, a to-do list, and it's showing you everything that it broke its steps down into, and that it's, going to take care of one at a time. So it's first going to define the aesthetic, then it's going to create the landing page, and then it's going to add animations and then save back into that folder that we're working in, all right? So after just a couple quick minutes, Claude created the custom landing page from all of my transcripts of my training videos, all right? So you could see here, I've created a sophisticated landing page for your co-writer system course. Here's what I built. Gives you some breakdown of everything it did. And now we can literally click this here and it's going to open up into the artifacts. We could see exactly what the landing page looks like. We can ask for changes here. Maybe you don't like something, you could tell Claude here, it'll make the changes. Besides that, you can exit out of that and you can also open it right online. So now this is what the landing page looks like. I mean, guys, look how insane that is that it built that landing page, custom to my folder with the transcripts inside of it. So you can look at it here. It's beautiful. It's smooth. It works incredible. We have the co-writer system, the modules, the results, a complete writing infrastructure built on Claude Code. All right. It gives the whole breakdown. This is all like custom stuff to the actual course that I teach in the training that I give in the community. One of the things when I saw this, I was like, I love this landing page so much that I kind of want to use it. I already spent so much time building my current one, but I have this problem where I love building landing pages with Claude, Claude Code or now Claude Cowork using the front end design skill. And every time I'm just so tempted to keep using these. So that's how you can build like an incredible landing page for anything. You just need to get everything into a folder and then fire up this Cowork and build these incredible landing pages. All right, now for the second use case I want to show you that I found really, helpful inside of Claude Cowork is repurposing content ideas in this type of content and writing work, all right? And to do this, we're going to use a custom Claude skill that I developed for repurposing content, all right? So first, we got to grab that skill, which you can find below. It's included for my Substack subscribers. So you can come here. I'm going to use this content extraction skill, which basically extracts content ideas from long form content and organizes them into detailed platform specific tables. We're going to download this skill. All right. It's just an MD file this time. Wait, I think we can just download it here. All right. Another way of doing this is instead of downloading, if it's just an MD file, you can literally copy it as well. We're going to go back to Claude, back into our capabilities again, where we put our skills and settings. All right, we're going to hook up another skill, add this one. I think this time, let's try to write it. This time, I think we can just write it. It's going to ask for the skill name, content, let's say content extractor. Let's paste the entire instructions here. And in those instructions, you see this formatting of the description here. and the name. So we already put the name up here, so we could take that out. And the description is this. So we need to take this and put it here. And then we could get rid of all this. And now these are the actual instructions. All right, so we have our content extractor skill. Let's create that. Put that in there. All right, so we have the content extractor skill. Let's go into Cowork. And now what I want to do is open up another folder. We're going to change folders now. I went ahead and created a folder with all, I put just a couple test ones in there, but like the last, I think 6 or 7 of my Substack newsletters are in here, okay? So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to allow it. And now we're literally going to tell Claude, using your content extractor skill, I want you to take a look at all of the newsletters in your folder here and repurpose them into new content ideas. So now Claude is literally looking inside of this folder just for you to see kind of what this folder looks like here. It's going to look like this. I have all these different newsletters in TXT file or in Markdown files, all extracted from my Substack. I also track all of these in Markdown already, so it's super easy. So it's going to look at all the newsletters in my folder. It found 6 newsletters. It's reading all of them to extract the content ideas. All right. Now it's going to create a comprehensive content extraction report with these content ideas. All right. You can see we have our progress bar over here. And let's see how it goes here. Creating the file, writing it up, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. All right, so after a minute or two, you can see it ran the skill here of the content extraction skill. And it took all those newsletters and extracted 42 content ideas from the 6 newsletters. And we can see some highlights. And then we can click this here, and it's going to open it up into the artifacts. You could see now in our artifacts, we have a content extraction report. You can open this up, and we could see it took those 6 newsletters and put it into all of this here. 6 Claude Code for Writers newsletters from December 10th to January 6th. All right, this content series establishes Claude Code as a complete co-writer system. Then it gives me a bunch of newsletter ideas, the $100,000 writing stack. All right, so a bunch more newsletter ideas that I can follow up on, Substack notes. What else? Twitter and X posts. Keeps going, LinkedIn, etc., etc. So this is my second use case for using Claude Cowork to basically open up a content folder, your archive of all your newsletters or content, maybe YouTube transcripts, articles, blogs, whatever it is, and run it through these types of content repurposing workflows and stuff like that. Super powerful, one of the most powerful, use cases for Cowork. And you can take this, of course, I'm going to take this like way further with a lot more content. You saw it with just 6 newsletters, but you could take this like, exponentially higher. All right. Now, the third use case we're going to want to look at is using an actual coworker connector that we can hook up here now to basically control our Claude Chrome. So that's the next thing we're going to look at. So to do that, we're going to fire up a new task here in Claude Coworker. And the first thing we need to do is come down here now. We don't necessarily care too much about what's in the folder, but I'm going to use that same folder with all of my newsletters inside of it. Let's say, pretend like that is your content folder or workspace. Now I'm going to come to this plus button. We're going to go to connectors, and we are going to make sure that Claude in Chrome, which is right here, Claude in Chrome is enabled. All right. So this is the extension or the connector that's going to give Claude Coworker access to your Google Chrome. So we're going to make sure that that is enabled. Now, how I like to use this for my own personal workflows as a writer and creator on Substack is I like to use it for, tracking analytics. Now, I do this specifically for Substack because Substack does not have an API, so there's no easy way for me to basically track all of these analytics and get them into an Excel file. So what I like to use is Claude Chrome extension to basically do that for me. So here you could see my analytics on Substack. If you're not familiar, it doesn't really matter. You can use this for anything, but Substack, I have a couple posts here. Let's say my last 6 posts, I have my subs gained from them, views, open rate, and stuff like that. I want to get these into an Excel file into my content folder. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to first I'm going to take the exact URL that I want Claude to navigate to, and I'm going to go back into my coworker, and I'm going to tell Claude, let's see, I'm going to tell it Claude, I want you to use your Chrome connector to track my last 5 newsletters on Substack. I'm going to provide you the exact URL. And then I want you to create an Excel file inside of our folder here so I could track, the last 5, the titles of them, the high-level analytics of views and stuff like that inside of this Excel file. And then I'm going to paste you want to paste the exact link that you want it to navigate to, and we're going to let it go there. Now, here's what it's going to do. It is literally going to spin up a agent to go onto Claude Chrome, or go onto Chrome. So you're going to see it's going to create a new tab and navigate to my Substack dashboard. I didn't touch anything. It did this automatically. All right, so it's doing this. It went ahead and you could see this highlight around my tab here means Claude is controlling it. And you can see the orange kind of glow effect over it. So it highlighted there and now it's looking at it. What I like to do is literally take this and put it side by side because now I can see exactly what it's looking at. So this is literally hands-free, not doing anything. Claude is basically using its eyes through the Chrome connector to look at my analytics here. So you could see it realized like, all right, I see some newsletters, let me capture these, and it basically captured all of it. So, we have all of these analytics being carried over into here, all right? And then what it's going to do now is create the Excel file. So this I can actually close out. It's done. We're going to just delete this now and don't need that. Delete this and back here. And now you can see Claude is going to create an Excel file. Now, this is a perfect example of how things don't work perfectly inside of Coworker. I still recommend using Claude Code if you are like a power user, but we could see that now it's running into problems. You could see that it is trying to run different things that I don't even know what it's trying to run necessarily or do, but really all I care about is the Excel file, and it was able to do that. So I've created your Substack newsletter tracker. Here's what I captured. The Excel file includes da-da-da-da-da. So now we can literally click this and we have an Excel file. So it used Chrome to basically navigate autonomously to my Substack analytics and put them all in an Excel file. And now what you can see is it is inside of this content folder that we're working in. So we have all of our newsletters here, and then we have the Excel file, okay? So that is my third use case, especially for like writers and creators and marketers for using Claude Coworker. Now, just to close out this full walkthrough video on Claude Coworker, just a couple comments I want to make. This is super powerful. It's incredible. It's really exciting. It really is an exciting release from Anthropic. They don't stop cooking up new features. It's definitely way more powerful than the regular Claude desktop version or just Claude web interface. If you use Claude for any type of serious work, you should just not even be messing with the web interface anymore or even the regular Claude desktop. You should be at least in Claude Coworker, and then if you want to take it really to the next level, you want to be using Claude Code. Two major differences though that I want to just mention between Claude Cowork, I don't even know, Cowork or Coworker, Claude Cowork and Claude Code. The first is the ability to spin up custom agents. So here inside of Claude Cowork, you cannot spin up custom agents. You cannot create agents. It has agents inside of it, but these are Anthropic's or Claude's own agents for basically messing with your system files and doing stuff like that. You cannot create or spin up, custom agents here in Coworker. To show you what that looks like really quick, if you come over, we're going to open up Visual Studio Code, and we're going to look at Claude Code in here. This is my intensely built out co-writer system here on the left, all right? And what I can literally do now is, if you see, I have an agents folder, and these are all my custom built agents inside of Claude Code. And I could tell Claude like, hey, write me a newsletter and make me a social media post and do this and do that. And it's going to spin up all of these parallel agents to do that work, right? That is not something that we can do in Claude Cowork now, right? That is just something we can do in Claude Code. So if you're interested in building custom agents, which are incredible, you definitely should be, then you need to be using Claude Code for that, all right? And then the second major difference has to do with just kind of the interface. So here in Claude, you can see in Claude Cowork, we are working in our folder, right? Our content folder, but you can't see like the documents inside of it really. If you click it, it opens it up on your desktop, kind of messy, not super productive. You're not gonna be doing that very quickly if you're working. And that is one of the problems with Cowork that we don't have in Claude Code, because if we go back to VS Code, we can see now that in Claude, I can literally like look at all of my folders in Claude in the same visual, in the same view, and I can literally open stuff up as well. So I can open up like system prompts for my agents. I could see it here in Markdown. I can come to my content here, my Substack, and come to my newsletters. I can see my newsletters, open it up like this. I can open up, in rich text preview. So that's something that is really only something you can do at this point with Claude Code in a code editor like VS Code or Cursor, right? But those are really the only major two differences up front that are going to make the biggest difference for like non-developers who are working inside of Claude, all right? So the custom agents and being able to see your documents, that's really it for now. All right, so that about does it. That is your little masterclass into Claude Cowork. Some really powerful use cases you can use, especially if you're a non-developer. If you're using it for writing work, I highly recommend taking advantage of this and getting comfortable with it if you have access to it and if you've never messed around with Claude Code. But with that said, it is just a middle ground. It should be, because if you master this, you really should then move on to Claude Code, because that is where you really start to unlock crazy potential with parallel agents and, all sorts of different workflows that are still not possible inside of Claude Cowork.